This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
We have a 2001 Honda Accord. It's a 3.0 VTEC engine, 6-cylinder, and it's giving me a lot of the codes for misfiring. It's showing misfiring though basically on every cylinder, like P0301, P0302, 306, and might be just these things. The coils may need to be replaced on one of the cylinders. It's funny though, if one of these goes bad, it'll send a code that other cylinders are misfiring. So I'm going to take a look. To do that, we're going to just do a quarter turn on these big screws here so we can take this assembly off, and this is just going to let us get to the coil a little bit easier. Let's pull this up. These are the coils. We're going to start the car up, and then what we're going to do is just pinch in on this. We're going to lift up the modular connector for that coil. So these are the coils on the back side. A little bit harder to get to. So you have to push in on this little tab, pinch in, to put a fair amount of force. So the cylinders are numbered on this car like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just as a reference. See, that's how they come off. And then if you took it off and then you got to stumble, that's good, because that means the coil is working. If you take it off and nothing changes, that means that coil might be bad. So we're going to give that a try, and the symptoms are all the error codes, the check engine light, and it stumbles, probably about a 20% reduction on power, shakes a lot, doesn't have a good idle. Alright, we're going to try cylinder number 4. I'm going to pinch in. So I heard the RPMs drop off, so I know this coil's good. Engine does better when I put it back. It's number 5. Same thing. Could hear the RPMs drop off. Number 6. Dropped off quite a bit. We know that one's good. So we're going to try the ones on the back here. It's number 1, number 2, number 3. See if I can get to number 3. It's a little harder to get to a good angle on these. You got to really pinch in hard on that connector. So I just took off number 3 and the engine stumbled. That one's good. Here's number 2. Here's number 2. Stumbles quite a bit. Put back on tight. And last one, number 1. It's probably hardest to get to because you got a hose in your way. Another symptom is this kind of puff, 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 puff coming out of each exhaust pipe. Smells a little bit like unburned gas too. The hardest one to get to is number 1. When I pulled it, the idle stayed the same. I'll put it back. So I don't know. Number 1 is definitely problematic. Might want to pull this coil and see what's going on with it. I think that's our culprit. Yeah, when I pull it off, there's no change. Probably just need to replace the coil. One thing you can do is you can take out like this coil, number 4, you know is good, and trade it for number 1 and see if that number 1's going to be okay. We're going to take a 10 millimeter to take out one of these coils. I got this number 4 coil, which I know is good. I'm going to trade it for the number 1, which I think is bad, just to see if that's what's going on. So once you get out that screw, you can grab the coil, pull it off the spark plug. Here's what they look like. So you got a rubber boot that goes on the spark plug, looks nice and clean. One thing you can look for though is just cracks where the voltage may be leaking out early. So that we know this one's good, I'm going to pull the number 1. Here I am at the number 1 plug. This one, when I removed this, it didn't stumble. So there's something wrong with this cylinder, and it may be it just needs a new coil. I'm just going to remove this one and then again switch it with number 4, which I know is a good one. And they cost about $70 to $75 for new coil. It's not that bad. It's super easy to put in. But it could also be an injector for the number 1 cylinder. Here's our number 1 friend. Take this one out. Take a look at it, visual inspection. Looks fine. Let me go ahead and put that on number 4. So just push it down on the spark plug, and we don't really have to add that screw in for this test. Click that one down. This one we know is good. This is the one that we took out of number 4. I'm going to put that on number 1. And we're going to do that same kind of test where we pull out the coil's connector and then see what happens. See, I'm going to get this pointing up toward the ceiling. There we go. I'm going to put on the connector for number 1. It's on tight. It's on tight. Okay, we're going to start it up and then do our little experiment. I'm going to take off this connector and we'll go to the auto parts store and grab us a new coil. And they're about $70, but it'll fix the problem. You're getting those codes from multiple misfires. You usually think of something systemic that affects all cylinders, like a bad EGR valve, which is right here, or a dirty EGR valve, or a messed up map sensor. But for some reason, when these coils go bad in one cylinder, just one, you get misfire codes for the whole thing. It could be that the energy that's supposed to go to the spark plug is leaking out, getting into the block and spreading that weird voltage signature, and it's getting back to the computer and just causes havoc. But the most common reason for those multiple misfire codes and for that unstable is a bad coil. You can just replace them all, or if it's just a one cylinder, you can pay $75, and easy to do. Once you get the new one, just put it in. It was right on top of the spark plug right there. Tighten up that bolt, put that back on, you're done. It'll take you 5 minutes.